Hey everyone, it's Mari. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I have a project today for the JustNick digital cut file design team, and I'm going to be creating with this gorgeous heart mandala background cut file. You can see that I've cut the cut file here using some white textured cardstock, and I'm going to back the cut file with this really gorgeous paper from Dear Lizzie and She's Magic. This is the photo I'm going to be scrapping today. It's a 3x3 photograph, and I'm going to be working in this Carpe Diem Traveler's Notebook from Simple Stories. You can see I've got a few spreads created here in this Traveler's Notebook. I really love this format and I love this size. And you know what? It's really awesome to create a quick layout with a cut file. It's a really super easy way to create a very fast project. So if you don't have a lot of time in your craft space and you really want to document those memories quickly, Traveler's Notebook is a really great format, and using cut files is a really great technique to have your project come together quickly. So I love this pattern paper. I love that it's a dark print with that floral. And this is really going to be perfect for backing this cut file. It's going to be a really great statement piece on my notebook here today. Sorry for that noise. My neighbors are going by in the back alley on their snowmobile, and it's a very noisy snowmobile. Anyway, I am going to put some adhesive, some liquid adhesive with my Fineliner bottle here on my cut file, and then I'm going to just glue the cut file onto that really gorgeous pattern paper from Dear Lizzie. I love the She's Magic collection. I think it was one of my very most favorite collections from 2019. Has all of the colors that I absolutely love to work with, and just really, really pretty. And this paper is just perfect, I think, for backing a large cut file like this one. And it's going to add a lot of interest and a lot of impact with that dark blue and, of course, those really pretty florals. So I love this. And now what I'm going to do is just take my Cutter Bee scissors and cut around the perimeter edge, just the very edge of that heart. And in that way, my cut file will all be backed perfectly and ready to add to my Traveler's Notebook layout. I just want to talk a little bit about Nicole's designs. Every week, Nicole loads new designs into her cut file shop. I'm just showing you here the paper that I'm using. I am just going to grab that quickly, and I see I have already cut the manufacturer strip off of that, so hopefully you could see that there and what paper this was from She's Magic. But Nicole loads new designs into her shop every week, and I just love her designs. I think they're gorgeous. She usually has lots of background cut files. Oftentimes she's got some really cool phrase cut files, different shapes, patterns, all kinds of really neat things. And she has a ton of designs in her shop. So definitely a really great place to check out for some cut files for your projects that you might want to create. Now, I wanted to take this piece now that it's all finished, and I wanted to just score it so that I can fold it easily and put that fold along the gutter of my notebook. And this is just going to make it really easy to place and fold onto that gutter spot. So the gutter in your Traveler's Notebook is just the center fold, and that center fold is created in that book using a staple in the very center of your book. I did not reinforce the center of my book today with washi tape, but it is something that I do recommend just to reinforce keeping your book together. I almost feel like this shape is going to kind of help do that though, because it's glued on both sides of the book. And so it's going to kind of, join those two sides of the book together. So I'm going to adhere this down to the paper of my Traveler's Notebook here very quickly. And I'm going to use some scrapbook adhesives to do that. I'm going to use my Scrapbook Adhesives Easy Runner. Just give a shout out to Scrapbook Adhesives here because they are a really great sponsor of Scrapbook and Cards Today Crop and Create events. And I have several of these easy runners in my stash that I got as freebies at those events. So they are a really great supporter of crafty events for sure. So, and the adhesive is really fantastic. So that's what I'm using to stick this down. It's a really strong adhesive, and I am going to adhere my piece down with that so that it stays put. You can just see that I'm just reinforcing that fold here by folding my project together once I've got that piece adhered in there. And here you can just see, wow, like the impact of this cut file is amazing. I love it. I really like how that looks. The paper in the Carpe Diem Traveler's Notebook that I'm using is true white. It's a really bright white, and so is the cardstock that I'm using here. So I really like how those blend, but my white cardstock does have a texture to it. Now what I've done is just backed my photograph with some of the Dear Lizzie pattern paper. This is actually the same pattern paper that I used to back the cut file. I just used the other side of it. So the pink side, the pinks coordinate perfectly. And I just wanted just a small little border of pink around my photograph. Of course, my photo does have a tiny little white border on it, and I really like how this looks. Now I'm going to take one of the manufacturer strips from one of the other Dear Lizzie papers that I have kept from, it might even actually be from this paper. I don't remember the paper that I'm using here. It probably is actually. And I'm going to use that just as a strip along the bottom of my project. I really like the yellow, and there is yellow in the pattern paper that I used to back my cut file. So, and I wanted to just have that as a ground piece underneath my photograph. So I'm going to stick that down once again with my scrapbook adhesives. And I'm going to measure that a little bit later and just make sure that it's the right distance from the bottom on both sides. And I end up moving it. It's slightly higher up on the page on the left side there, but I will do that a little bit later off camera and just make sure that it is straight. So I'm going to just take my scissors. I'm going to trim off that excess yellow strip there and just make sure that I've got just a really nice edge on that border strip along the bottom, and I really like that. The story that I'm documenting here today is just a story about how my friend came to visit last weekend, I guess it was. Her daughter was playing basketball here in the city that I live in. We worked together for I think about 22 years or something like that in the school where I used to teach, and we're very, very good friends. And it was just so nice to have her come for a visit. We went and watched her daughter play basketball, and she stayed overnight the one night. We had just a really great visit. And of course, we had to take a silly Snapchat photo here. And so this is just the photo that we took, and I'm just documenting her visit and how great it was to see her and just catch up and find out how she's doing and what's been going on and all that kind of stuff. So it was just a really good visit for sure. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going into some of the bits and pieces that I have left still from the She's Magic collection, and I'm going to grab out some of the embellishments. Now this ticket here is half of an embellishment that I used on another project, so I'm going to use the other half on this one. I'm going to try to keep a little cluster over to the gutter side of the photo. So on the left side there, I feel like we're I feel like we're almost just sort of like looking straight ahead, but maybe a little bit over to the left. So I'm just going to put most of the detail embellishments, or at least 3 of them on that side. And I'm just going to grab just bits and pieces, things I'm going to try to use up some of the pieces that I've already cut for other projects. I often do my embellishments to the right. And so anything that I've already cut will be cut to embellish now on the left. So I just wanted to try to use up some of those pieces. I've got a little floral piece here. I'm going to stick that in and use that up. And I also feel like the puffy stickers, the small puffy sticker sheets in collections like this are perfect for traveler's notebooks because the scale just seems like it's just right for this type of, or this size of project. So I'm going to use some of the puffy stickers, and I'm also going to use cardstock stickers and a chipboard sticker as well. I love using up my stash for projects like this, right? Just getting in, finding things that you want to get used up and get them onto your layout. So the great thing with the Traveler's Notebook projects is these little puffy stickers just work so well. So I'm going to just put a tiny little floral puffy sticker there. I wanted to use that darker blue that's in that pattern paper again and repeat that color. I'm going to repeat that dark blue again using a puffy heart, and I am going to put a few of the puffy hearts here and there to kind of go along with that heart background mandala cut file. Now I am going to use up some of my phrase stickers. These ones are from, I think, a crepe paper collection from a couple of years ago. And you can see that I've also added my journaling. So all I did to add my journaling there is I just put some lines down. Sorry about my phone. I put some lines down with my ruler and a pencil. And then I just went in with a gel pen, a black gel pen, and just did some journaling there. And I really tried to keep my journaling and my handwriting here super loose. Whenever I do my journaling by hand, I always try to just use a really loose kind of hand to create the handwriting really loopy. I try to make the loops look really big. I just try to make my handwriting look interesting when I add my journaling by hand because I don't know, I just think it makes it look a little bit more artsy or fun or something that way. So the title over on that side is going to be The Best. I am going to fuss a little bit with the placement of that. I don't think I have it quite where it ends up being in the end. I also wanted to add something over top of the journaling just to kind of give that a little title as well and finish that area off. So I'm going to take some of these pink fresh puffy alphas in pink, which is the perfect tone of pink for this pattern paper and color scheme that I'm going with here. And I'm going to spell out the word today for over top of my journaling. And I'm just going to use messy placement of my alphas over there, just so that I didn't want it to necessarily be so linear. I want it to just sort of look interesting. And so I'll just go sort of like in an up and down motion with the placement of those alphas so that they look interesting when they are all placed. And, you know, I think when I'm finished that, it's just going to be a few little puffy hearts that are going to get placed down. And that's going to be about it. I am going to link up all of the products that I used today in this layout, in this project, including the cut file and the cut file shop. Make sure you check the description box down below for the links to the cut file and cut file shop, as well as the products that I used in this project today. If you're interested in where you can find things like the pattern paper and the tools and the embellishments and all of those good things that I have used on my project today. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And I hope you will stop by again. If you liked this, I hope you will give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment. And if you are not a subscriber here on my channel, I would love to have you as a new subscriber so you can check out all the things that I post each week here on YouTube.